Well, hello, beautiful souls. My name's Vontia Boas, and I am coming to you this morning with a question that is, I think, on everyone's mind. It certainly is on mine, and that is, what's next? Well, it's a question that we have been asking from the day we were born, I think. What's next? What's next? And it does preoccupy our mind to the point where we're always looking out there. So for me, I come to you this morning feeling fairly weary. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I feel exhausted emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Well, I did feel exhausted when I first woke up, but it's picking up. When I tune into this work, it's like, zoom, there is an energy that suddenly comes down and fills every cell of my body, which is pretty good. So I sat down, and for those of you who do know me at all, you know that I am in the process of moving house, but I have no next to go to. And the human me felt really unsettled and vulnerable. And so I said, what's next, to my team of guidance. And I got this amazing download. And it was all about, we are all suffering from information overload. And it's a deep, deep programming that humanity has to now disentangle from and really emerge from. And that programming is to always look outside of ourselves for information to then react to or respond to. And we think that is reality. And so the council came and said, okay, you want to know what's next, here it is. So what I want to share with you today, it's all, I wrote it all down, and I'm just going to read it to you as it came. And it's really doing something that I've noticed. There's been a shift. I don't know if you've noticed that, but there's been a shift from people getting, tired. They're just scrolling and scrolling, looking for something that's going to inspire them, something that's going to give them the momentum to move forward into the unknown, and constantly looking for something that's going to give them hope, to give them whatever they're looking for. And so coming again to this edge of the void, which I've been sort of leaping into for 40 years, I again was at that place where I went, okay, what's next? So I want to share that with you today, and I hope, first of all, I want to say thank you for being here, and thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for commenting. Now, the more that you share, the more that you comment, and the more that you like and subscribe, the more people actually get to see this. That's how YouTube works, okay? So the liking and subscribing and the commenting and sharing is not just because for me. It is so that we can actually continue to grow, and we can have that ripple effect so that actually YouTube recognizes that this is an important message, and it will then send it out to more people. So please do all that clicking, click the bell, click the subscribe if you haven't already, make a comment below. And oh, by the way, just a little aside, if you're watching this on your phone and you can't find the links in the description because you haven't quite realized how to do that, I'm just sharing that with you because I had a friend of mine who actually said, I can't find any of your links. There is a little word called more just under the beginning of the description, and when you press on that, everything else is revealed to you. So please do all of those things. And isn't that what we're all about? Isn't that why we're here? It is to share and to have that ripple effect go far and wide, to support humanity to move into what's next. And interesting enough, it's not about what's next out there, it's all about what's next in here. Surprise, surprise, not really. So what I want to do is to just share with you. I'm going to just read this. I've got this little document here, um, and this is how um, it came from council, and they said, "What's next for humanity?" And this is the answer: you are creator beings. Remember and accept the accountability for that. Humanity's next step on this path of ascension is to own that truth. And that is just so big. I want to just sit with that for a minute. We are creator beings. So when we ask what's next, you know the answer? Whatever you are creating by what you're focusing on. So if you're always focusing on looking for what's next, it keeps you moving into what's not here. That's something that I had to really stop and go, well, if I'm always looking at what's next, then I'm missing what's here. So let's see what else there is. This journey of ascension is not about the outside world. It is about embodying the Christ consciousness and remembering that you are an aspect and expression of God, source, creation itself. And that's what we're coming home to, isn't it? That remembrance. Once you can take yourselves to the frequency of that knowing, you will be infused with so much love for who and what you are. It will change everything. It keeps coming back to loving thyself, know thyself, love thyself, be thyself. Anyone who does not love themselves as the life force and human expression of this oversoul of the omniverse and is lost in the lower vibration of third dimensional density of polarity just has not yet remembered who they are. So what's next? That is what's next. We need to know who we are and then really live that. This is why the phrase first know thyself is paramount for every soul on this planet at this time of ascension to the higher realms. The challenge for all of humanity is to raise their way of perception from the right, wrong, good, bad mindset to see all as life in the expression of source. Whether a blade of grass, a squirrel in the tree, a fish in the sea, or the human self, it is all life in form looking for the full experience of that. We just have to change our perception. We've so focused on the solidity of what we think is solidity anyway, of matter. And we forget that it's life expressing itself and experiencing itself. The question is not how do you create a new earth, but how do you find your way out of the entanglement of the false perception that you are separate from nature, separate from the creator and creation itself. Too small. Don't you feel that you're just insignificant? You're too small. So where are we? Too small and insignificant to matter. Your programming of never being good enough to keep humanity in a state of amnesia is deep-seated. But there has never been a greater opportunity than exists at this time to remember who and what you are and set yourself free to embrace and experience yourselves as sparks of Christ consciousness in human form. Here to elevate this planet and all who reside upon it to its intended place within the cosmos, the multiverse. You see, everything that we do, we're radiating. There's just ripple effects, waves upon waves. So what waves are you making? I look at myself and I go, well, what wave am I making? And when I'm sitting there going, oh, what's next? I don't know. I feel disempowered. Then I am not creating that which I actually want to experience. Okay, so where are we? Now I've lost my place. Okay, this is why you are here. This is the time to fulfill the purpose for your incarnated persona, to rise like the phoenix from the ashes and fly in all your glory, allowing your vibrancy to soar, spreading it far and wide. No more looking outside yourself for a savior. There is nothing to save. Only to return to the inner knowing of who you are, yes, and being a living example of that. So what's next? We have to become a living expression of the fact that we are created beings, and really step into that, and then create consciously what it is that we desire. Yes? Okay. Many on your planet are speaking about a grand event that will wake up all of humanity, and that is only partially true. What is actually occurring, this is really big. What is actually occurring is that there is a desire within the ones already experiencing a higher state of awareness for this to be the case. So those of you who are on this path, and you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't on this path, we are already projecting an event that is going to propel us into this higher state of consciousness. So, to live in a new earth environment, that is what we're projecting. Well, that's what I'm projecting, and I think if you're here and you found me, then that's what you're projecting. The term critical mass was one we gave to this channel early on as something to work towards. Well, you know how many times I was told critical mass, just keep working till we get to critical mass. I didn't know what the heck that meant, right? But that's when the 100 monkey syndrome came forward, right? That when enough people have one thought, then automatically everyone will have that thought. Okay, something known as the 100th monkey syndrome, meaning that when enough have a common thought or desire, it switches the hive mind. Yeah, that's not, you realize we have a hive mind, that is the mind of the collective, right? The hive mind of the all. So the real truth is that the very discussions and desires is the spark of creation bringing it about. Again, we stress the importance of where you put your energy. For the higher your frequency, the faster the response from the quantum field to bring it forth into experience. It is not something that will be brought to you from another source or power or extraterrestrial greater power. It is what you are bringing about as a powerful creator being. So what's next is what we create next. So again, it brings us back to us, what are we focusing on? Are we still looking outside of us to ask other people what's next? Or are we coming within ourselves and deciding, I can't find my words, but deciding what we would like it to be like? And not so much what we would like the outside to be like, but stepping into who are we when we are living into this new earth experience? Who are we? And then we become that. We don't have to wait for anyone else's permission for that. So, what else did the council have to say here? Another source of power. Yeah. What you focus on, you will indeed bring into being. What is important here to pay attention to is, what am I focusing on, and is it what I wish to experience? If not, withdraw your attention. Well, we've done that a lot. We don't watch the news anymore. We don't go down rabbit holes anymore like we, well, at least I don't, and I'm hoping you don't, because really, it's all distraction, isn't it? Distraction from really the one thing that we have to remember, and that is who we are. And that what comes next depends on what frequency that we are presenting to the quantum field. You are creative beings. Your soul is urging you to create consciously with accountability for that creation. And I think that's something that humanity has not ever done because they haven't realized the power of that. To be accountable for that creation, to be accountable for your thoughts, for your actions, for your words. All of that. We need to come home to ourselves and going, it's up to me. The buck stops here. Whatever I project is what I am feeding into the quantum field. And the quantum field, because we're electromagnetic beings in an electromagnetic multiverse, can only just deliver whatever it is in the equivalent frequency of that message. Okay, what else have we got to say here? The world is indeed your oyster, as you have created it. You seek love, create it. You seek wealth, create it. You seek beauty, create it. You seek a new earth, create it. How? It is simple. All through my work, I get this little voice that says, it's simple. And sometimes I feel like going, it's not simple when you're down here in the world of matter. Do you ever feel like that? I sometimes feel that. It's not that simple when you're in the world of matter. Okay. It is simple because that which you desire becomes a living embodiment. You've got to become a living embodiment of it. Yes. This is your time. This is your power. In closing, we would offer one suggestion to be aware of. And this is really, really vitally important for me as I observe what the main distraction is at the moment that we are being fed. So this is what Council says. If disclosure in whatever form that may be called for is humanity's main focus, then that is what will be presented to you as your next experience, because that is what you are creating. But if your soul calling and life purpose is to create a new earth of higher consciousness, bring your attention back to that. You are an expression of creation in human form. I'm going to say that again. You, me, we are expressions of creation in human form. We've always seen ourselves as separate. We're not. We're an expression of creation. We were created, remember? And no different to anything else of creation. We were created by that same intelligence. I've lost my place again. You are an expression of creation in human form with free will. With free will, that's the problem. We haven't always used our free will very well. With free will to create whatever you wish to experience. So what's next for humanity? Whatever the majority is focused on, either as victims to outer authority or as empowered creative beings evolving into a higher state of consciousness of a new earth reality. Discernment is the key here. And so it is and will always be into infinity. In service, we salute you. Wow, that's a pretty powerful message, isn't it? But it is really, and I am starting to see the shift. I'm starting to see, certainly in me, but I see the shift in some of our other, spiritual, I don't like to call them teachers, but that are sharing information spreaders, that they are all feeling the same. They're feeling this overload of information, and there seems to be no new information. And then there is all this waiting. Well, when is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? Well, what it does, it takes me away from the present. And so when I'm just going to use where I'm at the moment. And look, if you're feeling this way, please comment. I love your comments, and I do answer them all. Because look, we are on this journey together, okay? And if you feel there are people who are struggling at the moment and they really need to remember who they are, share this. And yes, all the little buttons, the liking, the subscribing, it all helps to spread this message to more people. Because the YouTube algorithm then picks up that it's actually, being listened to and people are interacting with it, and so it's important. And so just, I really wanted to share I'm a bit of an experiential teacher. I share everything that I learn and everything that is in my life right now. So right now, okay, I have to look, apparently I need to move into a new home. I rent this beautiful house, and I've only been here 2 years. And when I landed here, I was so happy. This was the epitome of everything that I had projected, that I desired for who I am at this stage of my life, where I am at this stage of my life, the work I still want to do at this stage of my life. And so it was just such a beautiful thing. And I sat back and I went, oh, thank you. This is just everything that I could possibly have wished for and more. So being in that place now, I've been told that, yes, it's time for me to move on. And yes, instantly I'm going, what's next? Says I to my soul, what's next? But I realize that I still have some time in this home. So I'm now bringing all my attention back here, and I'm going, you know what? Every moment I'm here, I am going to not miss it by thinking of what's next. Because the more that I love where I am, the more I project that love into what's next. Right? If I put my energy into, oh, woe is me, I have to look for another place, oh, woe is me, at this stage of my life, I have to move again, oh, woe is me, I've got to get boxes, and I've got to pack, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. I would not be enjoying living in this beautiful house that I landed in and I absolutely adore. So I'm really bringing all of my energy back to now. And I'm going, well, right now I'm still here, so I'm going to love every moment of it and keep saying, well, this was something better. Like, you know what I love, and this was something better. And really trust that I am the creator being and I am projecting that energy. And then watch how that's going to unfold and how the quantum field is going to bring that into a form at some stage when I am ready to go. But until actually it appears, I am not going to miss one moment of enjoying my life where I am. And that is what we're being brought back to. When we are constantly looking out there for what's next, expecting something or someone to suddenly throw all that at us, and then instantly everything's going to be better. Well, that is a possibility, but it's only a possibility when enough of us can bring our focus and our energy together and project an event that is going to do that. But if we look at it from the perspective of disempowerment, that it's not in our power to do, so we just sit back and wait for it, it's never going to happen. When we ask what's next, we're constantly, it's like the donkey on the end of the carrot. Well, that's new, isn't it? The carrot on the end of the donkey's nose. The donkey never gets to eat the carrot because it's constantly looking the carrot's in front of me. What's next in front of me? But then you're not here. And you're not appreciating who and what you are and what your own capabilities, your own strength, your own knowing of who you are, your creator beings. So I do hope that this is, giving you some inspiration to come home to yourself and to really, really know who you are and to stop asking for what's next and to actually sit down and go, what would I like to be next? Even write it down. I've written in detail, exactly what I'd like for my next house. And I've thrown it out there. And in the meantime, I'm enjoying where I'm at. So please, please share, comment, and yes, let's create together this wonderful new earth. And it's already in place. You know that we are actually partially living it already because we are projecting it. So withdraw all your focus from other things outside. Right? I keep saying I couldn't care less about disclosures. It's not going to help me I'm one human being. I'm a powerful expression of source. And every distraction takes me away from that knowing. So know thyself, love thyself, and then be thyself in every possible way, in every possible minute. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me. And this weary person is now completely revitalized and re-energized. And just thank you. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you. Till next time, as I always say, love yourself. What's not to love about this incredible expression of creation? Till next week, let's keep creating beautiful things. Bye.